yours.
Okay. But before we start, I actually want to go around the room. I don't know if everybody knows each other, but maybe just say your name, where you're from, and the first concert you ever went to.
Oh, that's embarrassing. Amanda Kraft with Radius, Indiana. I'm not gonna say it, that's so mean. Kids on the Block.
Woo!
Yay!
It's not embarrassing.
That is good.
7th grade.
I'm Tom Jacob from Holmesburg Auto Collision Repair, and just here to learn more about contracts with the federal government.
Cool.
What's your first concert?
I don't know, I'm trying to block all that out. Christian now.
Adam Offord, I'm with the Purdue University Manufacturing Extension Partnership. Live,
Yeah.
it actually was a group called Live.
I know.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a question. Like, yeah.
They were kind of popular like in the 90s, I don't know.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
Kevin Easton, I'm with the Indiana PTAC, help small businesses with issues related to federal and state contracting. I'm out of the Bloomington, Indiana office, and first concert would have been Aerosmith.
Woo, there we go.
John Barnes, Remington Systems Integration. I'm living down in Evansville, and the first concert I went to was Chicago.
Woo, there we go.
Very cool.
Now, you three aren't going to get by. You got it.
That's fine. I'm Alex Jackson, and I work for Stimulus Engineering and do marketing and event planning for the Academy and for the Tech Park. And I think my first concert was Aaron Carter.
Whoa.
I think I was like 6th or 7th grade too.
I'm Kendall Robertson. I'm interning here this summer at Stimulus, and my first concert was Hillary Duff.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, right there. Same.
I'm Sarah Miller, and I do like the PR stuff here. Most of you guys already know me, but my first concert was Kelly Clarkson, I think.
Woo, there you go.
I was a little older. So I don't know if that's better or worse.
I'm Jena Robertson, and I'm from Channel 2, WTWO, and my first concert was Tim McGraw. So, yeah, that was fun. Well, it was nice to kind of meet everyone. We'll go ahead and get started. Basically, I'm starting this off with this lovely picture that I chose because I am a Kentucky Derby fan, and I just happened to find this picture, and I thought it was fitting. So I kind of like to draw, like kind of analogies, I guess. So some of you guys are from businesses, you're definitely business representatives. So think about your business as a racehorse. And if you look closely, I don't know how well you guys can see this picture, but the horse that's winning, the jockey that's on it, he's really fit and he's kind of small. If you know anything about horse racing, you know that the jockeys are always typically really small and fit and in shape because that means the horse can run faster. And then the guy on the back, maybe he's not too happy, he's kind of slacking behind, he might be a little bit heavier. So I guess I tell you to look at this as if your business is your horse, your racehorse. And how are you in shape in order to make your business thrive and win and beat your competitors, and the list goes on. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. So the goal here is to get ahead, and I'm going to explain how we can do that with digital marketing. As we know, it's an ever-changing world. The internet grows every day. It's just ginormous. It's creepy. It's really cool. And by the way, guys, I like to kind of joke a little bit, so feel free to laugh. Make me feel a little bit better about myself. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So in this presentation, we're going to learn the ideal customer journey. Some statistics throughout because I'm definitely a numbers person because numbers don't lie. And they always kind of give us an idea of a bigger picture, I guess we should say. And the elements of digital marketing and what we can do for you. So as a representative from WTWO, I'm actually technically a branch of what's called Tactive Digital, So the company that owns WTWO also owns several different stations across the country, and they've recently bought out this company called Tactive Digital. And what that allows us to do is offer our clients some digital marketing venues and ways to get out there in front of an appropriate audience, because we know that the market is ever changing and just the internet is growing, and that's the direction everyone is going. So we're trying to keep up with that, and we want to be able to offer our clients the best of the best. So that's where I come in. They've created my position this year, and I've been kind of sharing this with people throughout the market. So the goal is to help you become number one in your market. I'm going to start it off with a little fun stat, because I like fun stats. Online marketing is 54% successful at generating leads. So what that means is out of 100 people, 54 of them became an actual lead out of 100 through online. So why is that? Probably because when you're online, it's much easier. So think if you're shopping on Amazon, you get an ad for Amazon for that pair of shoes that you put in your cart a couple of days ago and you never bought. That ad's gonna follow you around. You're more likely to either A, become a lead, or you're gonna actually go through with the purchase, because it's right there, and it's much easier to do it from your cell phone. So that's just kind of an idea of how that works. So as a business, our goal is to get noticed, obviously, but not only do we want to get noticed, we want to get noticed by the right people at the right time, right place, multiple times. And if you just sit and think about all of the forms of advertisement out there, how often can you say that you're hitting every single one of those multiple times? Like, you know that you're in front of the right person. I know that this person wants a roof. I know this person likes this pair of shoes. Or I know that this person is interested in my college. Whatever it is, how often do you really know that you're really in front of the right person every time? So today, in this digital world that we live in, it's possible to do that because we can track online behavior. And we'll get into more details about that in a minute. I don't know if you guys can read this stat over here, but I'll read it out loud to you. The average person in America spends around 11 hours a day on watching TV, listening to music, radio, and using just other electronic devices. 11 hours a day. I don't know about y'all, but I like my sleep, and I'm not awake for probably more than 18 hours a day. So that's like a majority of your day you're spending doing this stuff. So it sounds like kind of, far-fetched. But as I read this article that I pulled the stat from, they went on to say, we do this while doing other things. We are very distracted and multitasking society. There is no doubt about that. So I'm cooking dinner, I've got my phone out, I got my recipe pulled up, I've got the TV on, I got the radio playing. You've got all of this stuff going on at one time. You're at work on your computer and you're on a computer, there you go, there's your 11 hours right there in front of a screen all day. Or you got your phone, it's multitasking. So with that being said, we're very distracted. So as from an advertising and marketing standpoint, you have to just kind of think, okay, I don't have 100% of my target audience's attention all the time. They see my ad or my billboard one time, that doesn't mean they're gonna come in and buy from me tomorrow. They're gonna have to see it multiple times. That's why it's so important to continue and be persistent about what you're doing. All right, so this is my ideal customer journey. I'm gonna share a personal experience of mine. So my husband and I, 2004, almost 2 years ago, it's crazy. We bought a new house and we were super excited. We were newly married, new house, first time homeowners, rained for the first time, and we realized we had a leaky roof. Let me tell you how upset we were, or how, not happy we were. We didn't have it inspected, we were naughty and didn't follow through with probably everything we probably should have. So it rained for the first time. At this point, I know nothing about roofs. All I know about roofs right now is there's this silly commercial I've been seeing for the past 2 years I never thought would apply to me about a roofing company. That's all I know. So at that point, I'm gonna call them roofing company A. They've got my attention already. before I was ever even a lead, they had my attention. And as the rain is pouring inside my house, I am thinking about this company. So that's a good step one, I guess. Well, as I'm sitting there, I got my cell phone. I'm gonna get out my phone and I'm gonna get on Google and I'm gonna Google how to fix a leaky roof. Quick ways to fix a leaky roof. Roofing companies in the Terre Haute area. The list goes on of things I could search for. First thing I see is this exact same roofing company, okay? That is already kind of planted in my head because they've been running a commercial that I just happened to see. Okay, so I'm gonna go to their website, I'm gonna check out their prices. I'm like, oh gosh, man, this is gonna cost me like $13,000. I don't know about that. I'm already like sweating, freaking out. So I'm gonna back up, I'm gonna look, I wanna compare prices because I'm not about to drop $13,000 on a company that I don't know if they're even, good or not. So I need to really do my due diligence and just check out other places. So I look at the second organic search result. Okay, so let me back up here. Whenever you search something in Google, I'm sure y'all are familiar with search engines, you've got a paid advertisement, 3 spots with other paid advertisement, then you've got the organic search results under that. I'm clicking on the organic search results because that's just me. That's just what I do. So I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna click on the second one. I'm gonna go back and compare prices. I'm already irritated because this roofing company B doesn't have a mobile friendly site. I've gotta zoom in, zoom out, and it's just really frustrating. I can't read. I'm clicking on things I didn't mean to click on. It's just kind of not an ideal customer experience. So then I'm gonna back up again. I'm like, let's get on Facebook and let's see how these guys are doing on Facebook and how they're interacting with their potential customers or previous customers, whatever it is. This roofing company A just posted a picture an hour ago of a roof that they just finished. I'm like, man, these guys are serious. Like they're a roofing company and they're just like so proud of it. That makes them seem really legitimate. So at this point, I'm already pretty much sold on them, but I'm gonna continue to look just a little bit further. And this is all true story, guys. Like this really happened. I go to the other company that I'm looking at. They didn't update their Facebook. Last time they updated their Facebook was in 2013. So what that tells me is maybe they're not so serious about their business. Are they still doing roofing anymore? I don't know. So I'm pretty much turned off at that point. One more thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna look up reviews because like I said, I'm not about to drop $13,000 on a roof minimum on a business that I'm not sure is gonna give me the best quality. So I look up reviews. Roofing company A, great reviews. And I gotta say, reviews I think often get really overlooked by a lot of businesses. I think, oh, I don't have any reviews on Google. It's not that, who cares? Like not on my priority list. But reviews are everything. They are so important. And it's important not to get spammy about it either because Google can tell whether you, the business owner, are on your back end writing, great reviews over and over and over again. Google has a way of telling that, and that's spammy. So you're gonna get punished rather than rewarded for that. So it's important to ask your potential customers or your students or whatever your target audience is, ask them to write reviews about you and their good experience, and that will help your SEO. We'll get into all this in a minute, but just to give you an idea, it will help your search engine optimization tremendously. So anyway, roofing company A, they've got a great review. The other place, not so much. I'm over it. Well, then the next day, the sun comes out, and I'm just gonna pretend it was a bad dream and that my roof was great. And I'm gonna ignore this problem as long as I can, because I don't wanna drop that much money. Then I'm gonna get online, I'm gonna shop, look at some stuff on the internet, surf the web. That's whenever I get an ad for this roofing company A. And I'm like, how do they know I need a new roof? That is so creepy, so creeped out. But they know. And the thing about it is they know that I'm a qualified lead. If I was Googling how to fix a leaky roof, roofing companies in Terre Haute, that means I was interested in a new roof. So you can't go wrong with advertising to me because they know that I'm a qualified lead already. The dirty work is done for them. So they're following me around. I'm kind of like haunted I'm like, well, I still need a new roof. Then I'm gonna check the weather. And that's whenever I see another ad for them. At that point, I was done. I said, called my husband, I said, we gotta get a new roof. And that weekend, we got a new roof. And there's a new roof on my house today. And it's great, by the way. So, anyway, that's the ideal customer journey. And you see how many different ways I was targeted and how it worked out, because every part of that made me a qualified lead for this business, and that's important. You don't just want to shoot your advertisement or marketing out to someone who maybe is interested in your stuff, maybe you're hoping for the best, that kind of thing. So that's an idea. This is not the so ideal customer journey. An example I will use, my trash company. Mind you, they've got their phone number, big black bold letters on the trash can, right? That's great. But when I'm at work and I need to pay my trash bill, or I forgot to put my trash out, I need to call them and set up a time for them to come get it, I can't look at the trash can. I gotta get on Google, and I'm looking up this business. They don't have a business listing. They are like invisible on the internet. It is so frustrating. It is impossible to find them. And I'm like so mad. And I gotta say, this happens all the time because I always forget to put my trash out. I forgot to put it out today, actually. And I'm like trying to find their phone number, can't find it. God forbid I look on the trash can and actually dial it in on my phone. Like, it sounds pathetic, but it's so true. People want to be able to get on their phone, click to call right now. It's just human nature. That's what we want to do. So my point here is, this is what my trash company does to me every time I'm trying to get a hold of them. So we don't want to do that. So a question that you might have is, how can we avoid these negative customer scenarios? So for businesses who are just starting out, or maybe businesses who are thinking about rethinking their entire marketing plan, and they know that they have problems, but they don't know where to start, and they know they have holes everywhere, they're just like, what do I do? It's overwhelming. So what we have a tool that we use. It's called Buzzboard, and it basically allows us to pull a digital profile on your business. And I'm going to show you a snapshot real quick, but it basically grades you on your performance online and how well you're interacting with your potential customers and your target audience, and how search engines are viewing you. So this is just a quick snapshot. This isn't even a full report. This is literally just like half of the first page. So I've run this report on a business out of Hopstadt, Indiana. They're a home building business. And they scored a 57%. Ideally, you want to get somewhere between 75 and 100. It's just like an A to, like a grading scale, basically. And one of the things down here, you see local business presence. So you want to make sure you have a business listing on Google. Lots of businesses have a business listing on Google, Yahoo, Bing local, Yelp, CitySearch, all of these search engines. It's important to have listings across the board, whether you think people are using Yelp or not. It's super important to be listed on every single one. Because that's how the internet looks at you. If you're not listed on all of them, you're killing your SEO because you seem a little bit less legitimate. And B, you don't know what is the default search engine on people's computer. I know Bing and Yahoo are really popular, just default search engines, and people are using those. So you want to get in front of them every way possible. There's no reason not to. And if you don't, then perhaps your competitors will, and that's going to hurt you in the long run. So it's super important. Now, as I said, a lot of businesses have the local business presence, the listing in the search engine, but what they don't know is they have to claim themselves. And if they haven't claimed themselves, they're hurting themselves because they're putting themselves at risk, and I'll show an example, but someone else could claim you, possibly. Does it happen often? No, but is it possible? If somebody was really good at hacking and they wanted to get at you, yes, it's possible. So you don't want to do that. And another reason is, if you don't claim yourself, then you can't manage that listing. So Google is just going to automate information for you that may or may not be accurate, and you don't want that for yourself. So it's super important. And I pull reports on people who I think, oh yeah, these guys are definitely going to be buttoned up, but they're not because they're never claimed. It's so crazy. It's amazing. But so then the other thing we can do is run a competitor analysis. So if there is, so this construction company has competitors in the area, sometimes this platform that we use will automate competitors for us, or the business will tell us, okay, can you also compare us to these companies? And it will show us what the scores are, and it will line it up next to each other and tell us where we're missing. So for example, Country Air has a 57, and Rain Bright Homes has 73. And what that means is anytime someone searches for anything on the internet, and we know that happens on a regular basis, people are always searching for stuff, what that means is Rain Bright is going to show up first every time. And 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to click on Rain Bright, and Country Air is losing a lot of business to Rain Bright right now. So super important. So this is just a snapshot of like half a page. And I snapshotted this one because you can see where the missing holes are. And it's their listing. Country Air is not listed on Yahoo. They're not listed on Yelp, City Search, Yellow Pages, Local. They're not even listed. So if someone searches for them in any of those search engines, they're nowhere to be found. So it's just kind of interesting. Another thing to think about, whenever you're creating the business listing on Google, make sure that your address, everything about it is 100% consistent with what is on your website. So for example, if you, I don't know, what's the address here, like 13 something, Westgate?
598.
So say, what is it, Drive? So say on your website you spell out Drive, and then on your Google listing you don't spell out Drive, and it's just abbreviated, DR. That's gonna hurt your SEO. Something so small is gonna hurt your SEO tremendously. It's super important to make sure everything is 100% consistent. So that's homework for the day. After you guys leave here, maybe you can go get on your computers and just see what's it look like. And this report will tell you as well. So if any of you after today are interested in me running a report for you, I'd be glad to do that free of charge. So, all right, so let's get into some of the elements of digital advertising and marketing. First thing I want to just kind of throw out there, I don't know how familiar y'all are with advertising and marketing, but just a basic difference. They are very similar, but they also have some differences. Marketing is engaging with consumers, engaging with them. Advertising is more of a branding. They're similar, they integrate, but that's just, if there is going to be a difference, that's going to be it. Okay, so first thing I'm going to get out of the way is SEO. Super important. Guys, the internet is not going anywhere. We live in 2016, the internet is not going anywhere. It's here to stay, and it's important to make sure that your content on your website is optimized and that you're showing up in every search that could possibly apply to you. So just to give an idea of what search engine optimization is and how you can get at the top, I'm going to give a little bit of history. So I call this the Britney Spears method. And granted, you know, this, I don't know if this really happened, but it's just an example. Britney Spears used to be really popular. The internet was becoming a more used thing, and people knew, businesses knew, that Britney Spears was a really popular searched keyword. So the sandwich shop down the street was putting Britney Spears within their content everywhere, right? Because they knew, oh, everybody's searching for Britney Spears, so if I put her in my keywords, we'll be found every time. Everybody's gonna find us. Well, it worked for a little bit, but it also got really messy because everybody caught on, and mostly people were getting upset because, think about it from a user standpoint, you're searching for Britney Spears, you don't want to get the sandwich shop, you want Britney Spears. Why the heck aren't you getting Britney Spears? You know, that's why I'm searching for this. So it doesn't make any sense at all. And not to mention, if someone's looking for Britney Spears, they're not interested in your sandwich shop. So why are you even wasting your time? So that was a very short-lived method, and Google, the search engines, caught on to it really quick, and they're like, guys, we can't do this anymore. We gotta make this actually work. So now it's all about relevance, and that's where the Panda update came into effect. It's all about relevance. Anything in your site that is relevant to a search is going to show up. So a carpet cleaning business. A keyword for carpet cleaning business might be carpet cleaning costs, carpet cleaning Terre Haute, carpet cleaning Bloomfield, whatever it is, how to clean my rug. Those kind of things are relevant to the carpet cleaning business. So those are the things that are going to show up. You're going to show up anytime those things are searched in the search engine, given that your content has exactly what it needs to have. So that's just an idea. Super important to have good quality web content. Make sure it's relevant to the user. It's really kind of surprising at how many businesses are still kind of maybe not quite up to date on that. So kind of interesting. Make sure your links are good. The list goes on for SEO. I mean, it's truly overwhelming. So you just want to make sure that you're really buttoned up. Make sure you're mobile friendly, responsive. There is nothing more frustrating to a user than not having a mobile friendly site. Like I said, that roofing company, I was accidentally clicking on things. It just wasn't helpful for me. I think as of I can't remember the date it went into effect, but recently, if your site isn't mobile friendly, you're not going to be thought of in the SEO world. You're not going to show up at the top of the search bar. So super important to get mobile friendly. And one other thing too that's kind of helpful to know is YouTube. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. So what that does for you, if you have a YouTube video embedded, not just a link, embedded on your website, your SEO goes up tremendously because it's just such a popular and highly used platform. So super cool. All right, so I was talking about business listings. This is an actual listing that I did look up for a potential client of ours. They're a landscaping business, and when you Google something and you've got on your right-hand side, there's a little listing that shows up. That's what this was. And they were not claimed. So you see the link that says claim this business. So that means anybody off the streets can claim you. Not something you really want to happen. We talked about that earlier. Another thing that they're hurting themselves with is their picture. So if you haven't claimed this business and you're not managing the listing, that Google is going to be ever so nice and they're going to automate a picture for you using the Google Earth app. So I'm assuming what happened is this person maybe is operating out of their home and that's the address that they have provided, and Google Earth has just used their Google Earth shot and it looks like a dump. It looks awful. Yeah, go ahead.
So if I would click claim the business and it's not mine, what does that entail? Just clicking?
You would have, it's kind of a long process. You would have to have a PIN number. So anytime you create a business listing, you will get a postcard in the mail with a PIN number. And a lot of businesses don't know to expect that. For some reason, they just throw that mail away because they're just overloaded with mail anyway. It happens more often than not. But yeah, you would have to have a code information. But like I said, if you're an expert hacker, they can do anything these days. So I wouldn't just completely put that in the back of your mind. But anyway, so that's one of the reasons it's super important to get claimed. Some interesting facts regarding search engine optimization. 50% of users who perform a local search on their iPhone will walk into a business less than 24 hours later. Less than 24 hours later. That's crazy. What does that tell me? That means, oh my gosh, I gotta get my stuff, I gotta get buttoned up here. I mean, you're losing business less than 24 hours. It's crazy. The other stat here is that search engine optimization leads have a 14% close rate, while outbound leads, such as direct mail or print advertising, have a 1.7% close rate. So more often, and we kind of talked about this earlier, probably a little bit higher on search engine because one, they're already a qualified lead. If they're Googling, they want immediate service right then and there. They wouldn't be looking for it if they weren't, if they didn't need it right then and there. So more often than not, they're gonna follow through with the sale. or whatever the, committing to the college, whatever the situation is, if they come through the search engine. All right, so this is a really popular thing and super effective. Retargeting ads. Talked about this whenever I was being haunted by the roofing company. Being retargeted because I had previously been on their site. So they knew that I was interested in their product and they retargeted me. So again, I'm a qualified lead. They're not wasting money on me. They knew that the chances of me committing to a sale through them was probably going to be pretty high, so they knew that their dollars were pretty well spent. There's 3 different ways you can do retargeting. I'm going to explain them. The first one is keyword contextual. So if you are on a blog or on an article, anything that is relevant to how to keep my grass greener, you're in the context of a business that might be able to do that service for you. They can keep your grass greener. So a lawn care business might serve a targeted ad to those types of websites because they know that the people who are spending time on those articles are already qualified leads. The second way to do it is keyword search. What that is we would come up with a list of keywords from client to, between myself and the client, we would come up with a list of keywords that are relevant to your business. Anytime those keywords are searched, your ad will be triggered to target them based on location. So if you want to target anyone who is in the Bloomfield area who is looking to keep their grass greener, boom, we can trigger those ads to that person who performed that search in that place at that time. It's crazy how granular we can get. And same thing for site. Anytime someone goes to your site, they'll get retargeted. And how we do that, on the technical side of it, we would provide a pixel, put it on the back end of your website, and it would track cookies. So if I go to howtokeepyourgrassgreener.com and it knows that I'm looking for lawn care, it's gonna book my cookies and it's gonna follow me for 30 days because it knows that I was interested in their product. So super, super helpful. The benefits, I know I keep saying it over and over again, I just wanna make sure that my point is clear. They're qualified leads, guys, they're qualified leads. They allow you to be competitive, converts window shoppers into buyers. 9 times out of 10, they buy every time. And it's also great branding traction. I mean, that's pretty much obvious. There's an ad floating around. That's obviously good branding. There's several filters. This is where it gets really cool. So we do this with display and video. With the video platform that we have, we can get a lot more granular and it's super cool. But we can trigger ads based on weather. Say you're wanting to market snow boots and it snows outside, it knows whenever it snows outside that your ads need to go out. One of the platforms that we use for video, Minute Maid actually also uses because we have a pollen count and flue filter. So if the pollen count is high in Terre Haute in April, then that triggers their ads to go out because they want to target people who need some vitamin C. Or the flue filter is one of the big things that they use for. They know that they need their vitamin C. The flue count is high in Terre Haute, Indiana, boom, here's your ad. And it's not just exclusive to Terre Haute. You can go anywhere. You want to go California, you want to go Michigan, New York, wherever you want to target, anywhere, you can do it. It's so cool and super effective. So here's a little bit more about the filters that we have. So this is our specifically our targeted video platform and just some of the technologies we can do. If you get on YouTube, you see ads, probably something that maybe you've previously looked up in the past or something that maybe you might be interested in. So for example, for a long time I used to show horses. So the internet knew that I was a horse girl. So they knew to target me businesses that were relevant to saddles and horses and horse shows and that kind of thing. They knew that based on my internet behavior. And those were the kind of videos that I was getting. But not only that, you can also put several filters on there like demographics. You want to reach women ages 21 to 40. You want to reach men aged 50 and up, or 50 and up, whatever it is. You can get super granular with it. the topic. You can do data, device, if you only want to target people on their cell phones, if you only want to target people on their desktops. I mean, there's several different filters. You think about what would be the best for you and your business. Day parting, certain time of day. Maybe you're a sandwich shop and you want to make sure that people know about you when lunch hour is approaching. Shoot out your ads at that time. And we've actually got a campaign right now where we are targeting engineers because we have a company who's trying to hire engineers and they're wanting to get more. So we're targeting these engineers and we can do that with some of the filters that we have. Super cool. And I know it's kind of small, you probably can't see very well down here, but this is just an example of a dashboard that we have. So if you and I sat down together, we would be able to see in live time where and when your video ads are being served. So like a dot will pop up, hey, your video is being served right here, right now. It's so cool. So that's what this is. It's just a screenshot of, it's a national campaign of all the videos that are being played at this time right now. It's really, really cool. And then again, here's some more filters. We've got weather, whether it's raining, cloudy, temperature, pollen count, etc. Really cool. And this down here is a heat map. So you can see where your ads are most popular. So for example, one of the campaigns we have right now, we named a demographic of, I think we wanted a household income of like 65,000 and between 65,000 and 150,000 per year. That's one of the filters that we put on it. So we targeted several different areas. We targeted Terre Haute and Indianapolis. But most of the ads are being pulled out of Indianapolis because Indianapolis people meet that demographic more than Terre Haute. Some are being served at Terre Haute, but what this would tell you, this is Philadelphia, like over on the East Coast, but like it's a little bit blue right here, and then it's like red hot right here. And they're being pulled out of this pool because they meet the criteria that you have requested to have. Super cool. That way you know, again, that you're in front of the right people at the right time. Super cool. All right, so geofencing. This is ideal for a place who is wanting to get some foot traffic. We have one of the only platforms in the nation, I think, that can actually do this technology. It's really cool. So basically what it does is it creates a fence around a geographical area. When someone enters that area, they get an ad served on their phone. So for example, a car dealership, they're really competitive. So they want to target Ford, like Chevy wants to target Ford down the street because they know when people are looking at Ford, they're looking for a new vehicle. So someone gets, they walk in the door down there at Ford, they get on their phone to maybe check a price, get on Facebook, whatever it is, they're going to get an ad for Chevy and be like, hey, come on down here and check out our prices before you make any commitments there. And 9 times out of 10 it actually works. We have a lot of car dealerships who do this because it's really effective. Another way that we've done this is for college. We've done this. They wanted to target high schools. And you know that high schoolers are on their phones, and when they're at the game or whatever it is they're doing, they know that those kids are going to be qualified leads to go to their college. So they're going to get an ad for that college, and that's actually proved to be a pretty successful campaign too. So this is not for every business, but it's something to think about. If you have a certain location that you know you can get in front of the right people, super cool. It also has an option to create a conversion zone. So, for example, a car dealership, you can track a phone that received your ad, and you can tell whether or not they entered back into your premises and perhaps made a purchase. So it's really cool. You can actually see that they converted into a customer at that time. It's really cool. So generally, 2% of people convert for the first time when they visit an online store. 2%. So our job is to get the other 98% with retargeting. People like to shop around on the internet. All right, search advertisement. We've kind of talked about this briefly earlier. Roofing and Terre Haute. There's the ad, the first 3 ads right there. Those are pay per click. Anytime someone clicks on those ads, you pay. It's pretty cool. How we do it is we kind of set a dollar amount, and you just let your clicks, kind of run out as needed. It's customized for every different customer, so it's pretty basic there. All right, so mobile advertising and marketing. One of the least sexy of all forms of marketing and advertising is SMS, which is just text messaging. And yet it's the most effective. It is one of the most effective in getting foot traffic. So radio stations are really good about this. They, you ever done like a code? They're like, hey, so say there's a boot city. You want to get people who are interested in buying boots. So, hey, text this boots to this code and get a 50% off coupon that you can only use on these dates, whatever stipulations they want to put on it. They know if people are texting that code, they're interested in boots. So what does that mean? They're going to get that coupon, they're going to come into your store, they're going to buy those boots, and they're also probably going to buy some other stuff that's in the store too. So you've got great foot traffic and you just made a sale. Super easy, super effective. Not for every business, but it's definitely effective. And another thing to think about is if people sign up, you ever go to the store? It's a thing now. You go anywhere you go in the mall or just any retail store, they're like, can I have your email address? Can I have your phone number? And you're just like, can I just give you my money and you'll leave? But they do this because in their eyes, if you are signing up, if you're giving them your email address, your real email address, you're going to be interested in their product. You're giving it to them for a reason. You have the option of saying no. Most people don't, but it's because they're customers. So you want coupons. And the same thing goes with phone numbers. If I give you my phone numbers, because I don't care if you call me, I want to hear from you. So qualified lead, again. Everything we've already pretty much touched on, like geofencing, search ads, all this stuff. It can basically be done on the mobile device as well as the desktop. So this does not surprise me. Within 4 minutes, 96% of text messages are read. I think that's a pretty effective message right there. I mean, most people have got their phones in their hands. Nobody does right. Everybody's gonna make a fool out of me. All right, so email marketing. This is a super great way to do some marketing, but there are some things to think about. And I've done marketing in the past for some businesses, and I wish that I knew some of the things that I know now. Obviously it's a great opportunity for engagement with consumers. Coupons, people love to, like, I have a baby at home, so I love it when Babies R Us sends me emails with coupons. Like, I'm in the store the next day, like literally. It's a great way to get people in the store. Great for invitations, drives customers to your website, and not only your website, it's also really great for getting them in the door as well. Now, a couple tips for success on email marketing. This is something that people do nowadays, and I think it's kind of funny. I was on I was like a fitness website, and as soon as I logged in, I was on there for 5 seconds, and I got a pop-up. It said, sign up for our newsletter. And naturally I'm like, no, I just want to read what's on your website. So I scroll over to the no, I don't want to sign up. But that's not what it says. It says, no, I already have a bikini body. So I'm already just kind of like, are you serious? You kidding me? So then I'm gonna click yes. And they're funny about it, and that catches your attention, and you're more likely to say yes because, it happened to me again the other day. I was on I think I was on like a bank website or something, and they wanted me to sign up for a newsletter, and I scrolled over to no, and it said, no, I'm already rich. And I'm like, okay, no, yes, I want to be rich. So it was kind of a cool way to get you to opt in. Plenty of opportunity. You want to make sure you have plenty of opportunity for opt-in. And something that a lot of people don't realize is whenever you're getting people to sign up for an e-newsletter, it's not illegal, but it's highly frowned upon to pre-check the box for them. Just kind of like an ethical practice. And I know a lot of places do it, but it's actually kind of frowned upon. So just kind of think about that whenever you're working on your email campaign. Spam is illegal. It's a big thing right now to have really catchy subject lines, try to get people to click through and read your email, but you never want to be deceptive. As long as you're not deceptive, you're good, but don't tell people they're going to get a free cat if they're not going to get a free cat when they click on your email. And one thing I wish I would have known prior to now was never buy a list. I've worked for places where we bought lists and it went badly. I mean, it was just terrible. People didn't know who we were. We were more likely to be flagged as spam because they weren't qualified leads. They didn't know who we were. If you get flagged as spam too many times, you're gonna get blacklisted and you're not gonna be able to send emails anymore. So you don't want that to happen. Email marketing, these are some of my favorite stats. 6 a.m. has the highest click-through rate of any hour. So if you're gonna schedule your emails, maybe try early in the morning. People are getting out of bed and checking their email. And most unsubscriptions come on Tuesdays. So pretty cool. Social media. The big thing I want to talk about with social media is just capitalize on this opportunity to engage with influencers. So an influencer would be like the mayor or just anyone. If there's just some random leader that you know has some pull in the community, use it as an opportunity to connect with that person, because if they share your stuff, everybody's going to think it's just the best thing since sliced bread. So it's just a great way. That's why LinkedIn is super important, because people on LinkedIn are more than likely they're wanting to connect with you on a professional level, and they're willing to help you on a professional level. So think about that as a way to just connect with influencers and people who might have some pull. Be able to persuade people into your business. You want to be able to have fun and interact with your fans. You know, something I learned in marketing was, so I went to a seminar based on social media, and one thing I really took away from it is they said, don't think too hard about what you're putting on your Facebook page. Just get it out there. Just don't think about how grammatically correct you are, how you use your words. Just get it out there. And that's all people care about on Facebook. People are in a different element when they're on Facebook. They expect there to be minor imperfections, and they're more than likely overlooked, versus if it's on your website and there's a huge spelling error, or, you know, whatever it is. You know, granted, I don't want you to go put stuff on your Facebook page that's misspelled and, you know, you look a little bit less intelligent, but just don't think too hard about it. And something, Facebook, I'm sure this doesn't surprise you, but it has the most data on people on earth. Everybody puts everything on Facebook. Facebook knows if you have kids. They know everything about your aunt and uncle and how many cats you own. They know all of this stuff. So what this tells me is there's easy targeting opportunities. You can do Facebook advertising and run the filters, kind of like retargeting does, and they will help you get really granular. Super easy. And the other thing is listening and reputation management. You get a bad review, people all they want to do is just delete their bad reviews. You don't want to delete them, because depending on your business, that might hurt you more than help you. If someone sees, like from an outsider standpoint, I see that you have a bad review, I'm kind of intrigued, because that's just how people work. They want to see the juicy stuff that's going on. Like, man, this person is mad. How are these guys going to respond? And then the next day I get on there and the review is gone. I'm like, man, that was kind of like a cowardly move. Like, why would they just delete that? Instead, you might want to find a way to swallow your pride and respond in a positive way and try to help improve that customer experience. However, I do know that some businesses just get harassed, and you know, at some point it's just like, what do? Do you delete it? Do you just keep putting up with it? It happens. Actually, one of the services that we have a package. It's called SEO and reputation management. So it helps you get to the top of the search bar. And then also 24/7, there's somebody on call. So if you get a bad review, someone will be like, hey, you just got a bad review, and here's how we recommend you respond to it. And if you have something like that kind of in your back pocket, it's a lot easier to deal with, because then you're not just sitting there by yourself thinking about it, and you have people who are experienced with these kind of things and can help you respond in the best way. A couple more facts. 80% of social network users prefer to connect to brands through Facebook. Not surprising. 43% of all marketers have found a customer via LinkedIn in 2013. That's not surprising to me either. LinkedIn is super, super helpful when it comes to those kind of things. I guess my biggest takeaway I want to give to everyone in the room today is just spend your money where your customers spend, or your consumers spend their time. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. If you're trying to target an 18-year-old, the newspaper might not be, and there's nothing wrong with newspapers, I'm just saying it might not be the best way to get in front of them. Because you know that, I mean, I don't know how many 18, 19-year-olds read the newspaper, probably not very many. So just think about your audience, where they spend their time, and when it comes to advertising, think in those terms. So that's pretty much it, guys. If ever you want to do business together, latch onto these new technologies that we have, please get a hold of me. Like I said, we are not limited to this market. We can target anywhere in the world, essentially. The technologies are really, really coming along. And a lot of this stuff previously has probably been available to the big national companies for a couple years, and it's just now becoming available on the local level. So we're able to capitalize on it a little bit more. So that's pretty much it. My contact information is here if y'all would like to get in touch.